Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. How are you? Marhaba. Welcome back to my channel. This is See Like Sheba, and I, of course, am Sheba. This is my second time going on today. Who knows? Maybe I'll get on a third time, depending on what wants to come through me. But for this one, I wanted to share my experience of the wedding that I went to on Saturday. So yeah, we had gone up to Canada. For Billy's friend was getting married. I met this friend a couple of years ago. I met this friend and his then girlfriend, now wife, a couple of years ago. And so they have a wedding at this summer camp up in Canada, in Montreal, and invited all these people, hundreds of people, and it was really interesting. So we had gone up the day before, and I rolled a couple of joints and stuff because I'm like, I know we're gonna be there for kind of an all day and all night thing. I'm gonna be around a lot of people I don't know in a country that I'm not from, where they speak a language I don't speak, sometimes French, and just a lot of potential things that could be anxiety producing. I don't know. How do you guys feel when you go to a social event like a wedding? And so, I had rolled two big joints, for the trip. But on the first day, we just dropped it somewhere. We dropped one of the joints. And so I only had one for this whole 3-day trip, where I was pretty sure, I brought some psychedelics too. And, I just brought some substances to just try to enhance the experience and the lessons that I got from it. But yeah, on the first day, I lose one of the joints, so I only have one joint. And I was a little anxious, and I was oh, dang, that's so annoying. But also, I know that everything always works out for me. I know that the universe is always trying to give me helpful lessons to, give me a better experience of this. Hold on one second. Let me fix this little beepy thing on my security thing. Love the auditory reminder that I am supported and watched over, that my security system, gives me every couple of minutes. But anyway, okay, so yeah, I had lost the joint, and I was a little worried, or, just a little discontent. Because I was I had planned to have my safety blanket joint, and, now I didn't have it. And I was, just a little ooh, but I know everything always works out for me. Everything is for my highest benefit. So I was I think and also it was a full blood moon and lunar eclipse. And so I was I think the universe is trying to show me the places where I'm still not free, the places where I'm still relying on something external to me to bring me peace and security and safety and contentment. And so, on the day of the wedding, I've only got one more joint to last me, another day and a half. And I assumed there were going to be a bunch of people who wanted to, smoke with me. And so I'm usually the one who brings, weed or something to a party so that people can partake with me. And I didn't have that. And now I'm seeing maybe that was a crutch for me, there are some people who try to buy people's affections by, someone will go to a bar and be all the drinks are on me, and yeah, maybe on some level, my always bringing joints to the party, I do that on one hand because I don't want to have to rely on other people to have the substance that I would want to use. But also, yeah, I do like to be I imagine if I were at a party and someone was who wants a free joint? I would be oh my God, hell yeah, who is this person? I want to hang out with them. So maybe on some level, I was making myself that person who comes to a party and is ooh, I'm the person with the goodies, drug mommy. Yes, always here. So anyway, this wedding, I didn't have that. And so, we get to the campsite, and we pick a cabin. I picked one of the cabins that didn't have anyone in it because I wanted to, I don't know. I just didn't want to be in a cabin with a bunch of people I don't know. They were like bunk beds. Also, these cabins are way nicer than I remember cabins to be. Like they're all bunk beds, and they had bathrooms, 2 bathroom stalls in the cabins. So really nice, and electricity, places we could charge our phones. It was great. So dropped our stuff. I get dressed. I'm wearing this like navy blue with like red hearts dress. Very sexy. My titties look really good. And I'm wearing these silver cowboy boots, and I have butterfly clips in my hair. And yeah, we go to the, we get a little high on the way. And then we go into the, place where the wedding is going to be. And, it's beautiful. The people there are so interesting. The couple are such like an interesting couple who are very like good at bringing people together. And they're very like, they seem like they're very good friends to the people, who they love, and that they form these really strong bonds with people. So both of them, the bride and the groom, had a bunch of people like from high school that they went to that they're, still good friends with. The groom had 3 of the guys who were working the bar were his high school volleyball coach, basketball coach, and the math teacher. Like, I don't know that, I can't remember the names of, any of my coaches from high school or, let alone the math teacher, any of the teachers. Barely remember any of the kids. So I was just impressed that like they are intentional about maintaining relationships with the people they want to maintain relationships with. And yeah, so we go, and it was just a really beautiful celebration. And like one of the, and it was very like, they were like, meet someone new, just like mingle and talk with people you don't know. And I think everyone who was there was a very kind of, open, welcoming person. So it was a really beautiful kind of undertaking. And so it was really funny. I was having a great time just like walking around, and at one point this guy came up to me and he had my phone, and he was like, "Is this your phone?" And my phone has like a picture of me and Billy on it. So he looked at the home screen and he was like, "Hey, I think this was your phone. You left it over there by the drinks." Man, I didn't even notice that I didn't have my phone. You know I don't carry around a purse. I had my little satchel that my friend Sakura got me. But it didn't really have, all it had in it was the one joint that I was like, guarding and like not trying to use. I wanted to savor it. And so, yeah, like I left my phone somewhere, and some beautiful, kind stranger brought it over to me. I was like, "Thank you so much." Another time that night, I was wearing these like red sunglasses, very iconic. And another person was like, "Hey, I saw these sunglasses over there. These are yours, right?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize they were gone again." Like it's so funny. I'm so contented, and I do believe that I always have everything I need. So it's kind of funny sometimes when I don't have a thing like my phone or like, the outfit I came with. I don't even notice when it's missing. And so I love it. I think it's a credit to myself and how present in the moment I was. And also such a credit to the guests at the wedding who, didn't know me at all, but like knew my possessions and were like, "Let me get this back to this kooky woman." So that was awesome. Also, like, there were other people who had great outfits and great vibes. And one of them was this like Black woman wearing this really cool like 2-piece outfit that will be too hard to describe. And, I saw her and I was like, "Yes, love." And, she came over and talked, and she was so interesting. And she was talking about the work she was doing, and it was about kind of, she worked in like Geneva, like with the UN, and was like working on analyzing like the different laws. And she was focused on the emotion behind the law, and like the like, you know, how language has emotion imbued in it and these biases and stuff. And I was just like, what? Oh my God, that's so interesting and cool. And I love a beautiful Black woman who, you know, is interested in the collective. And so, yeah. And she was also talking about how she like jet sets she's based in like Canada, but she, you know, is always going to Geneva and all these other places. And I was just like, so cool. So later, turns out like that girl she was dating, she was actually a +1 to the wedding. She didn't even know the couple, but her girlfriend was this really awesome girl who, you know, used to date the groom, like not like seriously or anything, but like, you know, and a long time ago. But that's just kind of a credit to who the groom is. He's just like someone who cares about the people in his life and doesn't kind of just like discard them, you know, when their season is over. But it seems like they still, you know, are friends and things. And so anyway, the cool Black woman I was talking to was the +1 of this cool Asian woman who I met. And, you know, later on in the night, like they invited me out. They were going to go smoke a joint, and they invited me out. And I was like, oh, look at me. I don't even have to. I was so worried about, you know, I didn't have the joint that I rolled and stuff, and I didn't even need it. Like, I was taken care of. And so as we were smoking outside, like we were chatting, and they asked about me, and I told them a little bit about my story, and about how, you know, I'm retired right now. And they asked like, how did I do that? And I was just telling them, and they were looking at me with so much interest. So they were so captivated by my story, and they were like, oh my goodness, what? Like, you're amazing. And like, you know, they were asking how I did it. And then like, you know, I told them, yeah, I'm kind of in the spot now that I don't have to worry about money, and I can just kind of focus on me. And like, and one of them was like, oh, and now, you know, and now you can get the dream house. And I was like, girl, I already have the house. And she was like, oh my gosh, like I literally have all of these things that other people are still working on, trying to attract to them, like a house, an ability to be resourced and make money without working hard, a husband, or a partner, you know, a spouse, the face and body, the confidence, the style, like all these things I already have. And like, it was so beautiful to have so many people just like reflect it back to me. And so these two women, like, they were like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. And then they gave me like a blessing. They were like, success, 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 raining down on you. It was so beautiful. It was so like, ah, and I was just like, I receive it. I receive it. It was so amazing. I couldn't believe it. And it was so beautiful. Yeah, someone else had given me a little micro dose of shrooms, and it was just so sweet. I was like, wow, I'm so taken care of. I'm really so supported. And I came here a little bit nervous, not super nervous, but a little bit like anxious. And it was so great. I didn't have to do anything but be myself. And that was more than enough. People were so attracted to my shine. They were so curious about me. They were so intrigued by me. And when they asked and I, you know, answered about like who I am, they were like, wow, they loved it. I was like, whoa. So it was great. And so like by the time we left yesterday morning, you know, we got to the airport and I still had almost an entire joint left. The one joint that I still had remaining, I had almost all of it left. And so I had to like, you know, I had to like finish it before I got in the airport. So I was just like smoking this joint, trying to finish it. And I thought about how, wow, I started this thing so worried that I wouldn't have enough, weed, distraction, confidence to get me through this experience of being around a bunch of people I don't know in this intimate experience, not just of a wedding, but of a wedding that's at like a sleepaway camp. And of, you know, I'm not the one who's close to the couple, is my husband. So yeah, it was really cool. Like I started out afraid that I wouldn't have enough, and I ended it having more than enough weed, having more than enough psychedelics, having more than enough people to talk to and hang out with. I felt so comfortable. I had so much fun. The music was great. I got to dance. Oh, I met a guy with an Australian accent. He was Australian, so of course he had an Australian accent. And it was just really cool. Ugh. It was so interesting. And it was so sweet too. It reminded me that like me and Billy are married. And we had a wedding, but it wasn't really like we didn't invite anyone. It was just like me and him. And we really didn't even have vows. We didn't even exchange vows. And so now I'm like, ooh, I would like to have a wedding for me and Billy where we invite, you know, our chosen family and our loved ones, and we celebrate. Yeah. So we'll do that in a couple of, maybe a couple of years. I have a couple of things I want to accomplish before then. Mainly, you know, getting my Palestinian family to safety and really getting comfortable being on the Divine's payroll and whatnot, and living in my purpose, you know? So after that, and probably as a result of that, I'm going to be attracting even more wealth to me. And then, yeah, I want to like set up like a 3-day like wedding celebration, probably in New Orleans. I've probably talked about this on this before, but yeah, I want to do that and just like, you know, invite our loved ones, and they can stay for, you know, as much or as little as they can. But I just can't wait. Get a second line. Ooh, have such good food. It'll be so good. But yeah, anyway, I was just like, wow, I can't believe how like beautiful that day was, the wedding was, and like the experiences I kept having, and people were just receiving me so positively, and they were so intrigued and enchanted by me. And I was like, oof, still got it, Sheebs. So it's great. So yeah, for you, you might be going into a situation where you're like, you don't know anyone, it's a situation that could be potentially fraught, like a wedding where you don't know a lot of people. You might be going through your own things with, you know, relationships or whatever, and might be in a different country, and you're more supported than you know. All you have to do is be yourself. Your people will find you. You will be like emitting this really attractive energy to the people who are for you. So you don't even have to worry. And it's so great. So like a couple of the people, like they're going to be in Maryland in a little bit. And I was like, you definitely have to come and visit. So I can't wait. Yeah. So I'm probably going to talk about this experience and the lessons that I got from it in other episodes, because it was just so beautiful. I loved, like, you know, I know I'm that bitch, but like, it's so beautiful when someone, like a stranger, reflects that back to you, and like organically. And I was like, oh, this is why we do it. We do it for these moments right here. So it was really beautiful. Love those awesome people that I met. And I'm excited to have more episodes and experiences with them. I know it's going to be so serendipitous and random and perfect. Oh, I can't wait. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I think I'm going to go outside, talk to the trees for a little bit, connect to the divine, see what wants to come through me. And I'm, who knows, maybe I'll get on again today, because yeah, so I gave a video for Saturday. This is Sunday's video, and I can do one more if I want, or none, because it's all made up. Oh. Okay, well, that reminds me. Let me get out of here. So bring your forehead up against the screen, if you would. I love you. And this is all made up, babe. And you're more supported than you even realize. So, like, you can afford to make it up in a way you haven't seen before. You can afford to make it up in a way that you've only imagined. And if anything, I think you need to expand your imagination of what's possible, of what you can make up. Because you can do it. All right, my loves. I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Yeah. Salam, babes. And yalla, bye.